Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go for another Reddit Inhouse game. Cast by me, Neetche. Here we are into the band stage. We have Evelyn and Kazakh's band out. Two incredibly popular mid-champions. And Blitzcrank for their side because no one likes getting pulled. And it can really turn team fights around and the laning phase around with just one pull. And a Katarina also getting banned out here. Another popular AP mid champ. So a lot of people really caring about mid. Another ban for mid, Talon. So apparently whoever is going mid really wants to ban out who they don't like. And a Sivir being banned out. Now that's not something you see very often, but sometimes when you get a good Sivir, you just have to rage ban because one Sivir pissed you off, so you're not going to let that one happen again. So, first pick, going to be Lee Sin. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a Lee Sin top or a Lee Sin jungle, as he's really good at both. Now, a Taric being picked up on the other side, and we'll see what's going to happen if they're going to lock it in. Taric being a very good standard support. He can go aggressive with a stun shatter combo, or he can play very passively and defensively with his heal and his armor buff. So really, Taric is pretty much always a good choice no matter what kind of lane you want to run. Now, of course, just as I was saying all the good things about Taric, switches to Nunu, back again, and I'm just not going to say anything until they actually lock in here, because, yeah, everyone likes to bounce around. Now here we go. We are going for the Taric and a LeBlanc. Now the LeBlanc is very interesting because she can really bounce around. She's a good AP assassin, but as soon as her spells are down, she's completely worthless. And she's only got single target damage. She can't do any sort of AoE like Morgana can, who is just locked in. So Morgana used to be incredibly popular, and for some reason has fallen out of favor a little bit, even though she wasn't really nerfed that much. So we have the Morgana Amumu combination. Now this can be a very potent combo, because Amumu has an instant AoE root that'll hold everybody down, and Morgana has hers on a timer, where everybody stays in range. So that could be a very nice combo if they're going to lock it in. Yes, okay, there we go. That is going to be locked in. So a jungle Amumu and a mid Morgana. I really like that combination, because that's a lot of AoE damage coming out, and Morgana is a very safe laner. With her black shield, it's not really possible to really gank her successfully unless she doesn't play very smart. So she's got a dark binding, she's got her pool that can do lots of magic resist lowering. With the AoE, can work out very well. And they have, looks like it's going to be a jungle Lee Sin, as he just picked up Smite. So he'll be doing some pretty good ganks here. Back on the purple team, we have an Elise that's locked in, probably going to go top, and a Rengar that they're looking at. Now, as I like to bounce around a lot for champions they're picking, we'll just leave off exactly what is going to be picked here. But Elise is a very strong top laner. A lot of professional players have been saying there's almost no bad matchup for her. When it comes to late game, she's going to be incredibly tanky, she's going to do great damage, and she's going to be able to CC, repel, and get around the battlefield really well. So Rengar was locked in, champion that was recently nerfed. His AoE damage and heal was hit pretty hard, so we'll see how this works out. I have not seen a good Rengar since he was nerfed. I'm perfectly willing to be proved wrong, though we'll just see if I am. So we can see from the purple team a lot of single target damage. Taric has a single target stun. LeBlanc, single target assassin. Rengar, incredibly good single target AD assassin. And Elise, all-around bruiser, mostly single target because of her single target stun, and her repel is good for single target. Though her spiderlings give her a little bit of AoE, mostly single target on Elise, so 4 single target damage dealers. And on the blue team, we have Varus, who is an AoE damage dealer with his ultimate, and Ziggs. Which means we're not looking at Morgana mid. That's probably going to be a Morgana support. Unless it's Ziggs support, but Ziggs is a great AoE AP champion, but can't really function as support, where Morgana can. Her black shield means that somebody won't be CC'd by a target stun, which means very safe for Varus, and her dark binding and her ultimate, the dark chains, can work very well too. She'll just be very squishy and have to make sure she stays alive. That'll be the thing to watch. If Morgana can stay alive in the team fight long enough to get a fully channeled ultimate off, she'll be golden. If she can't, she'll just be squishy walking in and dying and giving free kills. So a very good AoE comp coming out of the blue team, with the exception of Lee Sin. He's not so much AoE, but he's a really good early game jungler. His ganks can be very good, and he can really set up a lot of stuff, great mobility, and it's very hard to catch a Lee Sin. On the purple team here, we have a lot of single target damage, with the exception of Graves. Graves has a lot of AoE, but he's just an AD carry, so significant single target there. If we get to an incredibly late game, I am going to root for the blue team, simply because of the team comp. When you look at all the AoE they have, Morgana, Ultimate, Amumu, Ziggs, Varus, that's a crazy amount of AoE damage. If they can just get them gripped up, that's all they need. For the other side, though, on the purple team, we have lots of single target abilities. Pick somebody out and melt that one person. If you can get a Taric stun, if you can get a binding from the LeBlanc, if you can get Rengar to jump on somebody, if you can get something from Elise, that's going to mean one person, bam, dead. Move on to the second person, dead. And just machine gun through the entire enemy team. So it's all going to be about who's got the better team fight skills. The actual team fight abilities, blue team. But if the purple team can pull this off, once they get ahead, there's going to be no stopping them. Because the AoE comps have good AoE damage, but if you can just survive through it, if Rengar and Elise are tanky enough, there's nothing really you can do. Now, since we're seeing a support Morgana, she's got the exhaust, let's see what runes and mastery she's running with. The runes here seem to be fairly standard. We have gold per 10, magic resist armor, and 1 crit chance. Just trying to get those lucky shots onto somebody. 1 in 100 chance, but that one, it's all you need. And let's see here for masteries, 1, 13, 16. We have the Summoner's Wrath for the exhaust. Reduce magic resist armor by 10. Always nice. Going up, picking up the block, but not getting pickpocket. Quite surprised at this, because you usually want pickpocket on supports that have a ranged harass, simply because every 5 seconds you can get 3 more gold, which can work out to quite a bit. You know, if you get it every time it's on cooldown, that would be 6 gold per 10. Quite a significant amount, especially for support that's usually starved. There you go. And let's see what the Rengar is running, because Rengar has had some issues lately because he was nerfed. So I want to see, are they going more aggressive build, or are they going to go for very defensive? Now, for runes, no big surprise, magic resist, armor, physical damage. Rengar needs the physical damage, all of his abilities scale off of it, no surprise there. But the masteries will tell. 921. So he's going for a more defensive Rengar build, wanting to make sure he can get in the middle of the fights and stay alive. So we'll see if he builds that way. If he builds more AD Assassin, Rengar can be good both ways. And now we get on to the most important part of the game, the skin wars. Let's see who has the skins and who does not. And by that, we're going to judge who is going to win. Because, of course, player's skill has nothing to do with it. It's all about what skins you have. In case you missed it, that was sarcasm. Please don't actually believe that one. So, here we go. We have almost Prom King Amumu, and that is the only skin for the blue side. And on the purple side, we have nothing. So with that, the skin wars go to almost Prom King Amumu. Oh, and traditional Lee Sin. Excuse me for forgetting that. So we have 2 skins versus no skins. I think it's very clear here who's going to win. Mostly because that's the only thing that matters. Now it's important to note we have quite a range of ELO being represented here. We have a diamond player in Nick's brother, all the way down to silver players. So we'll see if that makes a difference. If ELO is anything to go off of, Nick's brother should be the one dominating, and we have 2 platinum players on the other side to give them a go, but really, I think the communication and group teamwork will be a slightly bigger thing to look for than anything else. Let's see what they go for items, because recently with the new Season 3, the items have been all over the place. We've seen a lot of flask starts, boot starts, long swords, everything being used everywhere, which means that it's a lot of variety, which I like, instead of everybody always having the cookie cutter, boots, and 3 health pots. Of course, now I mentioned boots, 3 health pots, Lee Sin picks it up. So it's going to be Lee Sin top against Elise. And jungle is going to be Rengar versus Amumu. Mid lane will be Ziggs versus LeBlanc. And it will be Varus and Morgana versus Graves Taric. Now as for the lanes, I expect Elise to win the top lane in CS, but she shouldn't get very many kills, because Lee Sin is incredibly good at escaping and can jump around like very few other champions, where Elise, she's got a stun and she has repel to go and catch somebody, but I still think that Lee Sin will be able to get away. Now Rengar versus Amumu, jungler you can never tell because it's all based on how the lanes are doing. For the mid lane, LeBlanc versus Ziggs. LeBlanc is an AP assassin, so you should be able to beat a standard AP mage like Ziggs. So I'm going to give that one to LeBlanc. Down bottom, we have Graves Taric versus Varus Morgana. Now, I'm a big fan of Graves Taric. As long as they can bait out the Black Shield from Morgana, they can go in and just do an incredible amount of burst onto anybody that they get a stun off of. Because a Shatter will lower the armor that the person has, and then Graves has a great amount of burst. So we'll see what happens there. Now we do have Rengar getting fairly low at his blue buff, but that's not exactly uncommon. And I see Elise, like I said right away, getting some good harass down onto Lee Sin, and Elise starting with Flask, Ward, and Potions. So Elise is planning on staying in lane a long time, but she has to make up for it because in the long run, Lee Sin has 350 gold worth of items on her that he can build into something late game. He has got the boots. Rengar going in, catching a Mumu out at his red. Ping is going down, we have Morgana and Varus coming back up. Ziggs coming down, the Rengar might be in trouble. He's slowed, getting attacked, and looks like he's gonna be able to make it out. LeBlanc coming in to back him up, but that was an unsuccessful invade because of great team coordination and everybody collapsing. If you want to know the key to a good invade, it's the other team can't collapse. Rengar catching out Amumu again, Amumu flashing, and we have LeBlanc here to help Amumu die. They don't get the kill. Rengar goes in again, and LeBlanc's able to get Ziggs down low enough that Ziggs can't help. If no one can come and help, invade all you want. Up top, we have Elise going up against Lee Sin. Lee Sin is out of the health potions. Now let's double check, make sure we know what happens here mid. LeBlanc is the AP assassin, like I said, and so she's going to go in here and probably just jump in and slaughter him. There we go. 2 shots and boom. Down goes Ziggs. Let's fast forward up here. Lee Sin getting in trouble. Down bottom, we have Varus doing a great job of picking up the Graves, even though the Graves wasn't hit by the Dark Binding. Now Rengar, of course, going very low again. But I'm quite surprised at how this turned out, because I really would have expected the Graves Taric to do much better. And of course, kills going down, I'm not expecting it. Up top here, we have Elise, of course, chugging her potions, staying incredibly high health, and Lee Sin sitting at about 300 health. Lee Sin going in for harass, and really not a good idea. When you're losing to somebody in lane, don't go in and try and harass them down. Just how it goes, especially when you're a melee champion like Lee Sin. So right off, we had a nice kill by the blue team, and then red team picking it up when the blue team just overextends by a little bit. We have LeBlanc here getting the binding onto Ziggs, and Ziggs blowing flash. That flash is going to be crucial later. Now, Lee Sin did go back. He got a Dorian's Blade and no health potions. So Lee Sin's sustain is going to be incredibly low at this point, and that might cause him some issues. You have Graves, Tarek going back here, trying to get something down, and a Dark Binding going on to Tarek, and Tarek taking a lot of damage, wanting to turn this back, even though Graves is taking a lot of harass, and Graves going in deep and gonna pay for it with his life. Morgana going for Dark Binding, getting caught by a creep though. We have Rengar gank being turned around by a Mumu. LeBlanc is able to pick up the kill. LeBlanc is an amazing AP assassin. Rengar staying in on this. And Ziggs able to get away with a satchel charge. Ping is going down all across. Lee Sin wanting to pick up the LeBlanc. So he sees her, he's waiting for the opportunity. He could be in trouble if he goes in. He's at full health. And here comes Morgana. Oh! Lee Sin almost getting it, will he? Dark Binding not getting it. No, doesn't get it. So close. Beautiful job with Morgana coming up and Lee Sin being there ready. Just wasn't quite enough there. With all the kills going back and forth, it's 2-3 in kills and almost no gold difference to speak of. 100 gold is absolutely nothing. So really, this game is really close with a lot of action going on again. But that makes it a fun game to watch. No one really wants to watch a game where absolutely nothing happens. And this one, definitely not boring. So we have Elise pressuring down on Lee Sin, and Elise is level 6 while Lee Sin is still level 5. So Lee Sin in a bit of trouble. Lee Sin is only down 5 CS though. So he is doing an incredible job of staying up in CS against Elise, who's pushing very hard against him. So of course this is going exactly the opposite way that I said it would. And I said he'd be down in CS, but Elise wouldn't get many kills, and Elise has gotten kills, and Lee Sin is staying up in CS. Let's hope that Elise can make me an honest man and knock down his CS a little bit once she goes back. Another Dark Binding going down onto Tarek. Varus not doing too much damage, but Varus getting damage out onto Varus. Now there we go, some good damage coming out. Both sides going very low. Tarek is going to fall. Tarek falls. Graves in a lot of trouble here. Graves going to fall as well. And Graves falls without picking up a kill. Oh, this is painful to watch on the bottom lane here. We have Varus at 301 and 26 CS up on Graves. So we have LeBlanc getting picked up by Ziggs, but Ziggs falling under turret here. Rengar trying to get some kills and falling to Varus. Varus now 302. And once Varus goes back, he is going to really decimate the bottom lane here. So it looks like the blue team is looking pretty strong here, and they do have the AoE comp once we get to the team fights. Yeah, so, well, if you want to make some sort of desperate dragon move, this might be a perfectly good time to do it. Now, we do not have any wards on dragon by the blue team, just the one by red team. So if they want to sneak a dragon, that would be an excellent time to do it. Of course, they're not listening to me right now, but I guess nobody's perfect. So Blanc going back to lane and harassing down Ziggs. No big surprises. So we do have the top lane going pretty strongly in favor of the red team, and mid lane. It's just that bottom lane that is really causing him trouble. Now, a quick look back up the top lane here. We do have Elise 30 CS up on Lee Sin. So that is a pretty good lead there. So we'll say I'm an honest one there. Lisa, we have Morgana going in on Graves, catching the binding there, and Graves forcing the flash out and survives though. Graves was able to survive that combo, but also means he has to go back while Varus gets free farm down bottom. Now we do have Tarek still here on the bottom, sitting pretty healthy, but he's not going to be able to do much because if Morgana gets one binding, he's not going to be too happy. In the mid lane we have Ziggs getting really low, getting a summer turn harass on LeBlanc, but still, he's really low. Up top we have Lee Sin baiting in the Elise, not well enough. Lee Sin Amumu well in time to get away, and just backing up a little bit, and there we go, Tarek going down, but Graves should be in time to pick up the kill, does not get the kill. Yeah, Ignite just not enough, and Graves letting him walk away, probably not intentionally, but nonetheless Varus is able to get away scot-free and is now 4-0-2 after picking up the kill on Tarek. So Varus going to lifesteal off the golems, and a very risky play trying to get health back, but he doesn't want to go back, so I guess that's what he's doing. I'm going to go out and say that I disagree with that. If you want to go heal up, then go back. Don't play a game like this with the golems where you're not going to get very much health out of it. We have Ziggs Bomb coming up, trying to do something against Elise, but that really did not go as planning, as Lee Sin took an insane amount of damage from Elise, and Elise took almost no damage. The Mumu ult coming in, being blown on LeBlanc, and LeBlanc looks like she's going to be able to walk away from this one. With Rengar coming in, yep, Rengar not being able to get the... Okay, so this is about to say he's not going to get the jump. He gets the jump. Oh, Amumu getting a nice bandage toss onto LeBlanc there. LeBlanc able to make it away again, this time with less than 300 health. Rengar going in, but this might be a bad idea because he is at low health. LeBlanc in the back to back him up. Rengar diving, and LeBlanc might pay for it. A double kill for Ziggs because they chased way too hard. At this point, it's 9-4 in kills. Morgana going in again, getting the kill on Tarek, and Graves, no, Graves, come on! Graves not getting the last shot onto Morgana. All he had to do was just one more shot, one more, and he lets her walk away. That's the second time Graves has let a kill just get away from him and run away from it. Now, Graves was able to survive in this case, so he got that. But even trading that one for one, making sure he got the kill on Morgana, it would be worth it. Because they're 2,000 gold down now at 13 minutes, and he's losing lane incredibly hard. Morgana working on building the Aegis first, it looks like. And Varus sitting at 5-0-2. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see if they can do anything to shut that down. Their shining hope is, of course, that Lee Sin is losing, and LeBlanc is doing very well in the mid lane. So, the way it's looking now, Elise is up almost 50 CS onto Lee Sin, and she only got that one kill, so luckily my prediction is working out, and I'm very happy about that. Though, I'd feel worse if, I was on Lee Sin's side and seeing him getting shut down so hard. So Lee Sin is playing fairly far back. He is making sure that he can get some CS, but still having a tough time of it. Morgana coming around, getting a binding onto Tarek. Tarek taking some good damage here. He might just fall. No, Varus backs off, lets him get away. And Graves goes in for some harass. And everybody's getting away, but Varus is poking down hard. Varus has a BF sword on Graves. Tarek going up for the stun. Tarek getting hit by the ultimate. Ziggs ult coming in, getting the kill on Tarek. We have Rengar going in. We have the kill there for LeBlanc, actually. Rengar getting dangerously low, so is Graves. Will anybody else fall here? LeBlanc getting picked up. Amumu picking up Graves with his ultimate. And we're going to see Rengar... Rengar going for the ballsy. Just be real quick while you're in the bush and they won't expect it. Almost worked out for him. But, nonetheless, he did die, and that's 4 for 2. And, making it even worse for the red team right now. They're 3,000 gold down. Not an insurmountable bit, but still, 3,000 gold this early in the game's not something you want to be down by. So we have the AD carry getting fed on Varus, but Varus did die, so somebody got a lot of gold for shutting him down. We have Varus finishing his Bloodthirster at 15 minutes. Good time to get that. And Varus has double the CS of Graves, 83 to 41. So LeBlanc and Ziggs passing damage back and forth. LeBlanc missing all of hers. And LeBlanc actually down a good bit of CS on Ziggs, 64 to 111. So even though LeBlanc was able to get some kills, the CS difference more than makes up for the fact that she got a couple kills, and Ziggs 6 and 2. So right now Ziggs is quite fed in his own right. Varus is of course fed. Morgana getting pretty close to fed, but she's a support, so we don't care quite as much. Well, on the red side, we have LeBlanc doing pretty well, getting 4 kills, and Elise farming up quite well. Morgana blowing her ult once again, and we have Tarek going down. And will Graves be able to get anything out of this? No, Graves falls as well to the Dark Binding from Morgana. It's another double kill. And let's look back up top where we can figure out what's happening with Elise here. We have Elise going in, catching a binding onto Ziggs. Lisa looking to help, but can't. And yeah. Lisa wisely backing off. Being chased by LeBlanc. And Rengar here, looking to do something on Lee Sin. Nope. Binding coming in from Amumu. And Lee Sin might actually fall. And Lee Sin shielding up, kicking away Rengar. Rengar wanting to go for blood. And Rengar falling without getting a kill. Oh, that hurts so much. And we also had Amumu picking up LeBlanc. Let's go back and catch this one too. Everybody dying everywhere. Yep, just walking her down. LeBlanc going to get bindings, but the bandage toss more than enough for Amumu to pick up the kill. Now we have Varus down here bottom, walking around. Really quickly, back to live here. And Elise able to walk away, being chased down by Morgana though. Ziggs knowing exactly where she is. And Elise going in on Ziggs. This could be interesting. This could really be something good for Elise if she can get him. But Amumu going in down bottom. Amumu Morgana ultimate going down, catching the double binding. Both Ziggs and Elise getting away with almost no health here. Back to the mid lane. We just had Tarek go down. Ziggs picking up the kill there on Elise, getting away with almost no health. And Rengar going in on Lee Sin. Lee Sin doing work onto Rengar. Even though Rengar is able to pick up some good health, Lee Sin is really going at it. And looks like he might pick up the kill. Misses the strike there. Rengar baiting him in. Rengar getting low, but Lee Sin incredibly low as well. Lee Sin just walks away. Graves going to come in here, try and pick up the Lee Sin. Lee Sin should not fall to this, but we'll see what happens. Down bottom we see Varus being picked on by LeBlanc. Varus blowing his ultimate, Dark Binding going down. That is going to be a dead LeBlanc. This one is not going very well at all for the red team. The AoE comp is doing the single target pickoffs that they want to do, and that bottom lane just not going as they needed it to. Sometimes going unorthodox with your picks can work out. If no one knows how to deal with the Varus Morgana combo, they can't deal with it. Just how it goes. Elise being caught in a 2v1, and Varys doing work. What is going to happen? Elise going back down, gonna fall down. Kick from Lee Sin to make sure that she does not get the kill on Varys. I do see Tarek coming up, but he's support. Sorry, he's not going to do a whole lot. Graves going in on the Ziggs, but at this point Graves doesn't have very much damage, and Ziggs is a death cap and haunting guys. Tarek going in trying to do damage, really bad idea, and that's why. Because much supports want to do damage, they really don't. He's got no damage items whatsoever, and not very much health. He's got the Kindle Gem for a little bit of health, Side Stone, but sorry, don't try and 2v1 people under turret. Rengar coming in with LeBlanc. This should be a dead Varys right here. Stayed a bit too long. Getting the shutdown. That's 750 gold that the red team picked up. 500 for the kill, 250 for the assist. Really going to help them, but the question is it too little, too late? 23 to 7 on the kills, 31,000 to 24,000 gold. That's a 7,000 gold lead. And it's only 20 minutes. That's going to take a lot to get back in this one. But, as we all know, every team has the ability to throw pretty well. It'll take one good team fight where they can just machine gun everybody down like they need to, and they'll turn it around. LeBlanc picking up a hunting guys and a needlessly large rod, working on that death cap. Mumu getting 2 in his ultimate. Tarek falling again. Graves trying to do some damage before backing out. And Mumu goes out. Elise getting caught by nothing. Elise doing a great dodge, repelling up. Unfortunately, it's not enough, as Ziggs walks away with only a sliver of health, and Elise follows to the massive AoE of Ziggs. And a dark binding onto Graves. There he falls. The Blanc trying to get Ziggs, and instead being caught out by Varys, who's doing some great job, and Amumu picking up the kill. So Morgana has picked up the Aegis, which is going to mean everybody, including Varys, is going to be very tanky. Binding onto Rengar, he should be able to make it away from this one. No! Ziggs putting out the damage and knocking him down. There's the power of the death cap. Ziggs... Oh, Ziggs just suiciding. Ziggs playing ballsy, suiciding right next to Tarek. And doing it in a place where he could just easily be and go back instead of waiting for the 30 seconds. Who knows why he was doing that. Morgana Black Shield blocking the Tarek stun quite nicely. And Tarek taking a lot of harass from Varys. So nothing is really new. Static Shiv out stun onto Varys, but no one's arranged to do any damage. A little Spiderling going, doing absolutely nothing. And now we're finally at a 10,000 gold lead at 22 minutes for the blue team. So it is definitely their game to throw at this point, and we'll see if they do. Dragon is up, both teams with wards on it. We'll see if we have a nice 5-on-5 team fight here for it. My money is definitely on the AoE comp at this point, mostly because they're 10,000 gold ahead. Rengar coming in, invisible, jumps onto Varys. Varys sitting out and gonna 1v1 him, and Rengar falling to a Varys that just stands up and fights. Definitely painful. That's what happens when Rengar just has the Warmogs against Varys with Bloodthirster and Static Shiv. So Rengar 0-6 now, and Varys 11-2. Very, very painful at this point. Blue team picking up the dragon, increasing their lead even more. And Varys putting damage down to LeBlanc, though LeBlanc isn't in any danger of dying quite yet. We have Tarek being chased down here. Amumu going in on Graves. Graves should fall here. Graves flashing away. And we have Morgana getting the stun onto Tarek. Ziggs going after LeBlanc. LeBlanc falling. Rengar here. Rengar flashing out. Tarek falling off to Lee Sin. And we have Elise chasing down everybody. We'll see what Elise does here. Zig's getting very low, but the binding going out on Elise, and Elise not being able to pick anyone up. That has got to be annoying when there's so many people at low health and not able to kill any of them. We have Varus here, sieging the turret all by himself, and getting good damage onto Graves. Let's see. Zig's flashing out so he's not jumped on by Elise, and that's exactly what Elise wanted to do, is just jump on Ziggs and he'd be dead instantly without anything he could do. LeBlanc also looking to get somebody, getting the dark binding out, and looks like no one's really going to fall. Lee Sin getting low though. Exhaust going out of Elise. Elise falling with Lee Sin, so that's a 1-for-1 trade there. Ziggs going in, committing suicide again. I think we can all agree at this point that is a masochistic Ziggs wanting to suicide as many times as possible. I think he needs to do a fountain run at some point and try and get through all the turrets to the fountain with people there and still count as a suicide. So Ziggs at 10-5 with 2 of those being suicides that didn't need to happen. Red team looking at a desperation Baron. We have LeBlanc being hit hard by Mumu, and Mumu not being able to pick up the kill, but using his ultimate to get it anyway. And with that, we have a surrender from the red side. Kills being 33-8. In the time at 26 minutes and 6 seconds, the blue team has a victory over the red team for the Reddit Inhouse game, cast by me, Neetche.